for people to come on if they are interested in joining us today, and then we'll get started. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody to the Humanities and Social Sciences admissions program for the Tulane School of Professional Advancement. We'll start out with some introductions and I'll let folks who are here introduce themselves. So my name is Vanessa Rodriguez and I'm the Assistant Dean for Student Support and Success at Tulane Sopa. That means our crew is in charge of basically everything having to do with students outside of the particular academic process. So that includes academic advising, career advising, and student support services. And I'll let Dalila introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Dalila Amirbashic. I'm the program director for Humanities and Social Sciences. And so I work with students who are majoring in Humanities and Social Sciences. And I also teach in the MLA program. And I am also facilitating the capstone programs for both undergraduate and graduate students. And in addition to that, I'm also the coordinator for prior learning assessment at Sopa. So if anybody has any questions about that, you can reach out to me as well. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. And Sukari Ivester is one of our primary professors of practice. She's not here today, but I will let Dan Rahe introduce himself.
Hi, Brandy. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Dan Rahe. I'm a senior academic advisor for the School of Professional Advancement, and one of my programs I advise for are the webinar we're here for today in Humanities and Social Sciences.
Thank you so much. All right, so just a little bit about SOPA in general before we get into the program in particular. So Tulane's been around for a very long time, as many people know. It was started as a medical college here in Louisiana in the mid-1800s. The interesting thing is that the School of Professional Advancement, or its predecessors, have been part of the Tulane community almost since the beginning. About 50 years after it opened, they had some classes that were directly for the purposes of educating adult learners. So this is something that Tulane has been dedicated to for a long time, and we're proud to have that history. All right, so why SOPA? There's quite a lot of things that we could go into. I'm just going to kind of gloss over the primary things. Because we're focused on adult learning and learning accessibility, we have an incredibly robust and full online program. This is not something that we just started doing because of the virus or the epidemic. This is something that we've been doing for years and years and years. We're really good at it. We have exceptional programs and faculty in that most of our faculty are actually working in the fields as we speak. So they'll go from the office or, you know, the boardroom straight into the classroom and bring you that real world experience. Additionally, our programs are focused towards workplace needs. We have also incredible student support. Dan is one of our many academic advisors that we have who specialize in folks who are looking to be adult learners or engage in applied learning. They are some of the best, well, actually, I'm just gonna say it. They're the best advisors at Tulane. I know I'm biased, but I'm just putting it out there. I think it's true. I think it's true. We also are much more affordable and flexible than most programs that are associated with such a highly recognized university as Tulane. So our rates are very competitive to other less higher ranked programs, and we really work hard to keep it that way. Additionally, our hours for our classes tend to be later in the day. So if most people have working hours during the day, so we make sure to have classes. We do have some daytime classes, but most of them are in the evening. So most people can access them. All right, go to the next slide. All right, so diving deeper into online learning. Online learning is really a good fit for a lot of folks for many reasons. So you have access to learning materials anytime you want. So, you know, if you're like me and you're working and you have kids and then you add school onto that, who knows when that you're going to be able to carve out that niche of time to access the information. So having it online means it's available for you asynchronously, meaning you can tap into it at any time you want. And when the programs that we have don't just have, you know, like lecture notes on there. These are really engaging, informative videos. There's interactive simulations, and we work with some impressive designers that help us make sure that all of our materials that are online are really engaging and using the online forum as much as possible. You're also able to collaborate with your classmates through your online classes as well. And so the classmates tend to be a little bit more diverse because they don't necessarily have to be local. So that you might have some classmates from all of other states, and we have people from all over the United States who are actually in our graduate program. So that is exciting. All right, next one. So like I said, we've been doing this for a while. We have almost 1,400 students complete online coursework in the last year. And you can see there about over 12,000 hours of it. So this is something that our students are dedicated to. This is something that we're dedicated to. Now we have 8 master's degrees and 11 graduate certificates that are taught solely online. And we, like I said, we have our own group of instructional designers just within Sopa to help us develop those things. And those instructional designers work with over 200 faculty that they have specifically trained in how to create effective online instruction. And these folks have actually won some awards. So yeah, we're excited to share that with you. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Dalila, who will tell you a little bit more about the program.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. So today we'll be talking about the Humanities and Social Sciences programs specifically, and all of the programs that we have broadly explore interdisciplinary perspectives. So they're all very interdisciplinary. And in the process, you're learning about social relationships, practices, and social structures, while you're also strengthening your critical thinking, your communication, and your writing skills. And we have incredible faculty in the programs at both the undergraduate and the graduate levels. For example, this is just an example of some of the faculty that we have teaching for us, but they include, for example, Mike Kozinski, who teaches in the MLA program, and he teaches courses in English. His specialty is medieval English. Melinda Nelson-Hurst, who is an Egyptologist, and she actually does research on ancient Egypt, specifically on social history and archaeology of ancient Egypt. And she teaches courses on, for example, gender in ancient Egypt, hieroglyphics, and a lot of just really exciting and interesting classes. Also, we have Claudia Kiel, who specializes in Louisiana and Southern regional art. And in more normal times, she usually has students go on field trips to various museums or to explore different studios and things like that. Bill Boudreau teaches writing primarily in our undergraduate program, and he's also an accomplished poet, and he also teaches poetry writing to our undergraduate students. And then we're super excited to have Sukaria Vester join the program. She will be teaching in both the undergraduate and the graduate programs. And I will invite her to introduce herself right now, and then also share a little bit about the courses that she will be teaching, and also perspectives on her teaching style and what you can expect in her classroom.
Hi, I'm Sukaria Vester, Dr. Sukaria Vester, I should say. I'm a professor of practice, a new professor of practice here at Sopa in Humanities and Social Science. My PhD is in sociology, and most of my work has been around sort of urban design and thinking about urban development. My research actually spans Brazil and North America, so I've done some international work as well as focusing on cities here in the United States. And my coursework is pretty much based on a lot of my research. And so I'm teaching, coming up in the spring, I'll be teaching a course called Urban Space, Place, and Inequality, where we're going to sort of look at sort of how many people have argued that the urban space is actually sort of inequality written in space, that the city, I should say, is actually inequality written in space, and we'll look at that. I look at tourism, I do the sociology of travel and tourism, which is a course that I like to sort of highlight the privilege, essentially, that it is to be able to travel around the world, and that most people actually around the world don't have. And I discuss this idea of the sort of idea of those that travel versus those who are traveled upon. And I think it's an important distinction. I love travel. Travel is a good thing, and I think it sort of opens up sort of all of our understandings of the world. But I like to sort of have people think about traveling on people, if you will, you know, in ways that sort of highlight issues of inequality and such. And I'm also going to be teaching a course on race, racial formation around the world, which basically looks at how different countries have established sort of different ways of thinking about race and sort of who is a particular race is not necessarily the same in all societies and in history. And so we'll look at those issues. My teaching style is very much around active learning. And so even in the online presence, there's a lot of sort of activity, there's a lot of sort of things to, discussions and sort of, I try to really sort of highlight a lot of the issues that are going on contemporarily. So I bring in a lot of things from the news and just to sort of make the important connections between the things that we are dealing with in class and sort of the outside world, if you will. And so, I don't know, I think I'll stop there. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask them in the chat, or we'll have some time for questions after the session. So our graduate program is the Master of Liberal Arts, and the goal of this program is to allow students to reflect on the human experience from multiple academic perspectives. Each student has an individualized plan of study that is really targeted towards your intellectual interests as well as professional goals. So that means that the program is very flexible. Students are required to take 10 courses, which includes a capstone. We have two different capstone options. There is a capstone portfolio, which brings together different forms of interests and classes and allows you to sort of build the connections between the different areas that you've explored. And we also have a capstone project, which allows you to go in more depth into a particular topic of interest. So the capstone project is more like a mini thesis. It's not as structured as a thesis would be, but it allows you to have a similar experience that you would as writing a thesis. If you are interested in completing a thesis as well, that is an option. That would kind of take the place of that 10th course. The courses that are offered in the MLA program range from history, literature, philosophy, political science, and sociology. And students are required to take 2 courses in the MLA program. And then your other courses, 2 courses plus the capstone. And then the rest of your coursework can come from any of the graduate programs in the School of Liberal Arts at Tulane. So you have access to the whole range of courses that are available at the graduate level. Next slide. And for our undergraduate programs, we have the Bachelor's of Humanities and the Bachelor's in Social Sciences. The Bachelor's of Humanities students are focusing on studying interdisciplinary and also very complementary fields, including English, literature, religious studies, linguistics, music, a variety of visual and performing arts, as well as philosophy. And then the social sciences students are exploring the cultural, economic, political, and historical context of societies with courses that are ranging from anthropology, geography, Latin American studies, sociology, political science, and other related fields. The experience requires 120 credits, which is the requirement for all of our undergraduate programs. And those include 30 credits in the major. Your major requirements would include introductory courses. So there are 4 introductory courses that need to come from 3 different subject areas in your major. And then there are 6 upper level courses which which are not restricted to the areas that you're interested in. And then your final course would be a capstone project for both majors in the humanities and the social sciences. And the capstone project is again designed to bring all of those different interests together and allow you to see not only how they relate, but also how they apply to your professional interests or your personal interests that you plan to pursue after graduation. And because we offer so many interdisciplinary programs and fields, the students are building a foundation of skills and knowledge that are really applicable to a wide range of careers. And these include business, education, arts, consulting, public relations, public policy, nonprofit management, and writing. So our alumni, these are just some examples, and we have alumni who are pursuing careers in these areas, and also many more, just because those skills are so relevant and transferable to a range of professional fields. And then this primarily applies to the undergraduate students. And we have a program for prior learning. It's called Prior Learning Assessment, and it allows students to earn credit towards either a bachelor's or master's degree. It's fairly limited to our applied programs, so there aren't that many opportunities for students in the MLA program to pursue prior learning assessment. But basically, credit for prior learning can be awarded for learning outside of the classroom, which includes work experience, community service, and military training. And most of our students are working adults, so most of our students do come in with a significant amount of previous work experience. For undergraduate students, you can receive up to 24 credits through either portfolio assessment, a standardized examination, which includes CLEP or DSST testing, as well as through military training. And graduate students can receive up to 6 credits through portfolio assessment. And if you have any questions about this and you would like to talk further, you can reach out to me, and then we can talk more in greater detail. And I think Dan is now going to talk about student support and success.
Yeah, my dog's barking, sorry. Of course. Yeah, so student support in
Life in coronavirus land.
Man, I tell you.
We've all been.
He barks anyway, yeah. Sorry about that. The student support and success, yes. We are here for you as academic advisors to lead you from start to finish to the completion of your degree. You know, whether it's, you know, needing assistance with getting registered for classes, getting your transfer credits evaluated, you know, any part of the process, pretty much everything. We're your go-to person and available, over the phone right now, via Zoom, email. Some students just email me each semester. Some students want to meet in person. Some students call me. Right now, we're not meeting in person, but we'll eventually get back to that soon, hopefully. So we're here for you, every step of the way, from the time you get admitted until you're ready to graduate. Make sure you're taking the proper courses, make sure you're on the correct path, and so on and so forth. And Dalila had already mentioned our expert faculty with industry experience. We're excited to have Sakari here now teaching our classes, which is going to be really cool, to have some additional faculty in the program. Career advice, we have a career advisor at your disposal as well when you become a student, Cynthia Washington. She's great. She teaches a class, a career success strategies class as well. I heard a couple of students really enjoyed that class that were taking it over the summer. And whether you're, just at the beginning of your academic career or towards the end of it, she's a very good contact to have, whether you need help with a resume, a cover letter. She holds a lot of seminars, webinar type things as well with employers across the city and whatnot. So that's a really good tool to have, especially once you get towards the end of your degree, like, oh no, I need to apply for a job now. What do I do? How can I do this? If you're unsure, don't be shy. She's there for you. She's great. And, when you graduate and everything as well, you become part of the Tulane alumni network. And it's a network of program peers and others that you are permanently a part of the Tulane community. Application process, pretty straightforward these days. You go to our website, sopa.tulane.edu. You click on the apply button at the top of the page. The application fees are $40 and $50 accordingly for undergrad and grad, but because you attended the webinar today, those fees will be waived. So once you apply, that will be waived for you. If for some reason you are charged, just let admissions know. They have the roster of you attending this, and so that'll be cleared for you. You need to request, official transcripts from each of your prior institutions that you attended. A lot of schools do electronic transcripts now, which is really great because the turnaround time is sometimes only less than 24 hours, but anywhere between 24 to 48 hours, a lot of schools are getting us the transcripts already versus snail mail, which can sometimes take up to a week. And then with the Postal Service, you never know sometimes anymore, unfortunately. And in addition to the transcripts and doing the application, you're also going to have some kind of ID to upload, basically your driver's license or something like that. And once you submit all those things and everything is received, then your application will be processed accordingly. For undergraduate admission, it's a pretty quick process. For graduate admission, you may have to write a letter of intent, or it goes through a little review process. Dalila, I assume, reviews all of the MLA applications, and then you get notified of a decision that way as well. Next slide. Application deadlines are pretty much 2 weeks prior to our semester starting. So the application deadline for the spring is January 1st. The semester starts about 2 weeks after that. The summer is May 15th, and the semester starts really quickly after the spring semester, actually, for the summer. And then the fall semester is August 1st. That's the deadline to submit the application online. If you still have a transcript that's going to trickle in a couple of days later, that's fine. Of course, the sooner the better, because some classes tend to fill up. You want to get registered in advance, get your financial aid and everything else sorted so that, once you get admitted, you get that taken care of, then you can go straight in and start signing up for the classes. As the undergraduate advisor, you'd get a welcome letter from me and everything. We would work on, looking at your transcripts, going through that evaluation process, and then being able to come up with a degree map, so to speak, so I can, then give you course recommendations for the upcoming semester. There are always, some folks get stuff in late for one reason or another. So, if you apply and your transcripts get in a little later, then, you know, you'll just have to get everything done quickly so that you can register and in time for when classes start, because you don't want to start a class like a week later or anything like that either and fall behind and whatnot. But yeah. And affordability, our tuition is pretty competitive for a four-year school in the New Orleans area. In the New Orleans area, it's $524 for a per credit hour, which comes to just over $1,500 per class. We don't charge extraordinary fees like a lot of other schools do, so we try to keep our tuition low. We realize, you know, we cater to working adults, and college can be expensive, so we try to you know, keep those fees and everything low and just have the tuition basically, and you know, get your textbooks for the classes. Graduate tuition's a little different. It's only at, you know, graduate degrees are 10 courses pretty much, but it's $1,078 per credit hour. Financial aid is available. Tulane's, we have financial aid assistance to any students that may qualify. You can go to the financial aid website. It's financialaid.tulane.edu. And there's a tab at the top that says SOPA. If you're a current student, you can click on the current student tab, meet your financial aid advisor, and do all those things. If you are prospective still, then there's a prospective student tab that you can click on. It gives you step-by-step instructions on what you need to do with the financial aid office and how to get that all set up. That's all handled separately by financial aid advisors. I do get asked about financial aid at times, and unfortunately I don't have access to that kind of information. So you'll have to speak with that person directly. And there are different kinds of aid too, and discounts. So there's federal grants, loans, the Yellow Ribbon Program. We have tuition discounts for active duty military, for veterans, for teachers, and for first responders as well. And that about does it. I'll hand it back off to Vanessa or Dalila. If y'all have any questions, just please unmute yourself or send it in the chat.
Yeah, sure. This is Dalila's contact information, but feel free to reach out to any of us. There's asksopa@tulane.edu. If you know, it's an easy one to remember if you don't have this written down, but all of our contact information is also online. So please don't hesitate to contact us with whatever information you may need. Any questions? All right. Well, if you do, please reach out. That's what we're here for, okay? Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.